And the first court appearance for the driver accused of hitting her, retired Army Colonel Eric Henderson, was delayed today because of the weather. Court documents indicate the 52-year-old was drinking before the accident, and that fatal accident is drawing attention to a Colorado law that's called the Move Over Law.
According to Drive Smart Colorado, 23 highway workers and 1 law enforcement officer are killed every month in the U.S. by people failing to move over. Denver 7 reporter Lance Hernandez is looking into this issue. Lance, it's a problem on rural and urban highways.
It happens at night. It happens in broad daylight, Eric. We've covered far too many stories about troopers getting hit or killed. Same thing with tow truck drivers. Now, Colorado's Move Over law requires motorists to leave at least a 1-lane buffer between their cars and emergency vehicles. But with heavy traffic like this, it's not always possible.
Well, it's a big problem here and everywhere.
Traffic Ops Sergeant Chris Hogue says a Denver DUI officer was injured in September when he was struck by a driver who failed to move over. The sergeant says inattention is the biggest reason people disobey that law.
It seems like driving has become such a chore for everybody that it's become the second or third task that you pay attention to.
He says he'd like to see people put down their cell phones.
We've seen people read the newspaper. We've seen people with cell phones taped to their steering wheels, watching movies, eating a bowl of cereal, doing their makeup, of course.
The Colorado State Patrol posted this video on its Facebook page 4 years ago. It shows traffic rushing by a trooper alongside the highway, much of it failing to move over. CSP didn't want to talk about the issue today. The loss of Trooper Jaimie Jurservics still too fresh.
If there's heavy traffic, then you should slow your speed down to where you can see what's going on, even if you have to slow down dramatically to make sure that you get past safely.
Carla White says she's seen too many drivers get in a hurry.
I don't think there's any place that you need to go so fast that you could risk your own life or somebody else's life around you. It's definitely better to just move over, slow down, you'll get past it.
And Sergeant Hogue says the rule of thumb is to pay attention to traffic about a quarter mile down the road. That way you can see if people are starting to shift over a lane, if people are starting to step on their brakes. He said it's not just flashing red and blues, though, that this law applies to in terms of ambulances, fire trucks, and police cars. It's also flashing yellow lights. We're talking about CDOT trucks and tow trucks as well. In North Denver, Lance Hernandez, Denver 7.
A good reminder this time of year. Thanks, Lance. According to the Colorado State Patrol, nearly 700 drivers in Colorado have been cited already this year for failing to yield the right of way to a stationary emergency vehicle. There were just over 1,300 all of last year, which was nearly double the number in 2013.